Arts in Depth is brought to you in part by Riverside Theater, Vero's professional theater at Riverside Park. Call the box office at 772-231-6990 or visit riversidetheater.com.
Arts in Depth, a 1/2 hour televised program presented to you by the Cultural Council of Indian River County. I'm Barbara Hoffman. I'm the Executive Director of the Cultural Council and your host for Arts in Depth. Thank you for watching. Vero Beach is so rich in arts and culture, and theater is especially well represented in our community. Theater Go Round has been providing professional entertainment around the Treasure Coast since 2008, delighting its audiences with not only great shows and talent, but a presentation style performing around each and every table in a dining room. My guest today is John Putzke, artistic producer of Theater Go Round at Vero Beach. Welcome, John.
Same to you, Barbara.
Theater Go Round has grown its audience to many sold-out performances since its founding over 7 years ago. Please share with us the history and the vision and all the work that it went into its creation and to what it is today.
Well, my family moved with me down here to Vero in 1980, and I've been doing theater in Vero ever since. And I got to that point where, after taking a hiatus of a few years, the bug was still biting, you know. And I thought, Vero, I came to Vero originally to work for Musicana, which was a dinner theater at the hotel here in town. And then there was this long period where there was no dinner theater, and I thought Vero is so ripe for that, that to be able to have a really good meal, stay at the table, and then see, a professional entertainment as well. And so we started up about 7 years ago out at the Best Western, west of town, and we did our first production, which was of Nonsense back then. And our name, Theater Go Round, comes from basically our presentational style, and that we don't really have a formal stage area, but that we travel around the room and perform these shows at each and every table. So over the years, it has progressed, and now we're, I think, into our 17th or 18th show so far. So.
Well, you've really done a great job. It has to have been a lot of fun.
It has been. It has been. It's a lot of work, but it's also a lot of fun. And it's really rewarding because we've built such a repeating audience that follows us, from year to year and season to season. So.
Well, you started at the Best Western, but then where did you go after that?
After that, we were offered a opportunity to finish out La Fonda's lease over on the 34th Avenue by the airport. Okay. In the city-owned building there, and there was 18 months left on his lease, and so we had an opportunity then to run our own facility, both the dinner end of it and the and I think that's probably where we really blossomed and came to life in town. And so at the end of that 18 years,
18 months.
18 months. Yes, when his lease ran out, we moved then and did a year rented the ballroom at the Elks Lodge, and so that was the next step after that. So Theater Go Round became really going around town as well.
Okay, well, we're going to hear the last two places now after we come back after a short break, but we're so delighted to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Bay Street Pharmacy in Sebastian invites you to see our new selection of holiday cards and gifts. For more than 30 years, Bay Street Pharmacy has been your neighborhood pharmacy and one-stop healthcare center, offering prompt personal service, home delivery, and a dedicated staff that treats our customers like family with care and compassion. Now we have wonderful cards and gifts for the holiday season. Bay Street Pharmacy, where caring people care for you.
Arts in Depth is brought to you in part by Riverside Theater, Vero's professional theater at Riverside Park. Call the box office at 772-231-6990 or visit riversidetheater.com.
I'm back with John Putzke, the artistic producer of Theater Go Round. Theater Ground has had many successful performances. I think you said something about 17 or 18
I think,
of them?
yeah, I think this is about the 17th, 18th one.
What do the critics say? I mean, there's been many headlines.
There have been, and it's been, if there was a piece of wood around here, I would knock on it right now, because out of the 17 or 18 that we've done, we have been able to garner wonderful reviews for each and every show that we do from all of the press and media, as well as, the emails and social media that we get feedback from our audiences. So the critics, as you probably have noticed on our website, we actually have a whole drop-down section of some of the quotes, and they've been very generous with us, and I think that has been a big attraction for building our audience as well.
Can you remember a couple of the headlines?
The one that I love the most is it's a must-see, and date night in Vero has become much more musical, and really nice things like that.
Great. How do you select the shows?
Well, I have a resident company that started with me 8 years ago of 8 performers, and the process starts basically with finding out their availability and what in the calendar and the time slot of when the shows are scheduled. And then once I know who's available in those time slots, then I write the shows around who I have available and their specific talents.
Okay, this season is very exciting. Tell us about it.
Well, this year it just sort of fell into place of the themes that I wanted to do, all kind of centered around New York City. And so we dedicated this whole 5 production season around shows, music that take place in New York City. And so we started out, our season goes from May until May, and we started out doing Welcome to the 60s, and it's centered on all of the wonderful music that got its start in Greenwich Village. And then, of course, we moved on to Between the Moon and New York City, which was the life and times of the cabaret life and times of the great Peter Allen. And this was a different type of show than what we had normally done. We focused on one songwriter and his life story, and we used his music to tell that story. And that was a huge success for us. It was kind of a gamble at first because it was so different from what we had done in the past. And so, Peter was really known for his sold-out performances at Radio City Music Hall, and so we touched on a lot of that fact and brought a little more New York to it. And our current show now, Holly Leaves and Christmas Trees, is based on all the music and the style and the tradition of how the Christmas tree at Rockefeller Center got started, how it developed over the years and grown into what it is, and then most interesting, where the tree comes from every year, and this year in particular, and then what happens to the tree when Christmas is over. So, and then we have 2 more shows in the season after that.
What are they?
Okay, the next scheduled show is Karma Chameleon, which was going to focus on music from the 80s in New York City. However, because Between the Moon and New York City has been such a success, we're bringing that show back in that time slot.
Oh, great.
Then we'll finish out as the original schedule and Take Me Back to Manhattan at the end, and then Karma Chameleon will open in June and run for the summer.
Well, it's a wonderful season, and I know we can look for many, many more wonderful seasons. We'll be back after a short break.
Join Marsha Littlejohn nightly at 5 and 9 on VeroBuzzTV.com.
Hi, I'm Carolyn.
And I'm Jim. Together we are the Live Now real estate team at RE/MAX Associated Realty.
We know the Sebastian area real estate market very well, and we also know that buying or selling a home can be very serious business.
But together we can reduce the stress and even have fun in the process. Along with our hundreds of satisfied clients, we really want you to live now and be happy too.
Contact us at thelivenowteam.com.
See you soon.
And I'm back with John Putzke, the artistic producer of Theater Go Round. Where all does the Theater Go Round perform?
Well, our home base, of course, is the Quilted Giraffe on US 1 here in Vero, and we've been there now going into our 3rd season. But outside of Vero, we have done shows at the Sunrise Theater in Fort Pierce and Kings Isle down in Port St. Lucie. And within the area, even though we have done Grand Harbor, Oak Harbor, Vista Plantation, Woodfield. So it has not only been theater go around table to table within each production, but we also go around the community and outside to do our shows as well. Our main goal or our secret or our thing is that we do it in a dining room, though. You know, it includes a dinner with it. So,
how do you bring an idea for a show to a finished performance? It must be challenging and it must be very complicated. Can you describe the process that you use to have your vision and bring it onto the stage?
That is a very interesting thing because, like I said earlier, I work with my company and the talent that I have, but also I always have some things that are my favorite things too, that I like musically and or a story or whatever that I'm trying to convey. So what I do is I choose a theme and I set a goal as to what we're going to try to achieve with that. And then the hours and hours of scouring through the multitude of music that comes along with that particular theme. So finding it, putting it in the right sequence and keeping the flow of the show going with the talent that's involved in it. And I'm very fortunate enough because we do our shows with tracks, but they're done specifically for our shows. They aren't purchased tracks like karaoke tracks. So our orchestrations are done on a track it is developed for us up in North Carolina. And then once the original song is done that way, then that is shipped off to Mike Holliday, who used to be a resident here in Vero Beach, who now lives in southern Indiana. And he takes that and mixes it all together to put it into medleys if we only take certain sections of songs. So it's a involved process to do it, and then of course to design the costumes that are going to go with that particular show and so on. So
that is really interesting.
It is.
That has to take a lot of creativity and
a lot of time up before you ever start a rehearsal for a show. It does. It involves a lot of time. So
well, you seem to put things in a historical perspective. I find that interesting.
A lot of our shows are done by decade, and not only that, but we are finding that more and more our audiences are liking to get up and dance or sing along with it. So the decades from the 40s through the 80s is so popular, and even though we try not to repeat the same shows we've done in the past, but we might do the decade. You know, we did Dancing in the Streets, which was the 60s, and then it was so popular that this year we decided we would do another area of the 60s, but that decade is just loaded with music, and so we could probably do a 60s show forever and not do the same songs twice, you know. So.
I love the looks on the people when your singers come in, sit right in front of them and just sing right to them. It's really fun.
That's one of Beth's main things too. She'll pick out a table, just pull out the chair, sit down with them, and tell her story.
Okay, we'll be back shortly after a break.
Arts in Depth is brought to you in part by Riverside Theater, Vero's professional theater at Riverside Park. Call the box office at 772-231-6990 or visit riversidetheater.com.
The Furniture Man is a locally owned business that has served the needs of the community of Vero Beach and Indian River County for over 30 years. Here at the Furniture Man, we offer fine pieces to furnish each and every room of your home. Specializing in Floridian style, come browse our selection of bedroom, dining room, patio, and living room. Come explore over 10,000 square feet of showroom where you can find mattresses, recliners, sofas, dining, and more. Visit us at 673 US 1 in Vero Beach, Monday through Saturday for all of your furniture needs.
John, Theater Go Round has exciting roles for its singers, your company. How do you select your cast?
Well, like I said earlier too, Barbara, the basic core of our company is the 8 resident members that have been doing the show since the beginning of time, 7 years ago. They're very talented, especially we kind of have a fun thing going with the 4 girls in the company. That's Shamara Turner and Eleanor Dixon, Caitlin Harris, and Beth Mackenzie Shestak. And a perfect example of the quality of the talent and everything, all of these women have been doing musical theater professionally, but they're all mothers and they have children and they're raising families, and so they were, for whatever reason, living here, brought to Vero Beach, and so this gives them a perfect out because of our scheduling, our rehearsal time, doing musical reviews that are written for them that best showcase their talent. That gives them the opportunity to really shine and continue to raise their families here in Vero Beach. We do have some men. Gregory Harris, who is the choral director at the Vero Beach High School, is also our vocal director, and Beth is our choreographer. We've had open auditions once a year, and we do add people, and sometimes we have people in just for 1 or 2 shows. So the talent pool has always been a very interesting draw for me, and there's such wonderful talent from Melbourne to West Palm that, you know, come up and audition and take part in the shows. So I've been very fortunate that way. And then to have the core of people that stay with you and know how they work over the years, and then that becomes so much easier in the long run to write the shows for them, and you know exactly what their ranges are musically and their abilities, and so the whole goal is to make them shine, and I think they do.
Oh, they do. They really do. Now, how can our viewers find out about the upcoming seasons and the shows and how to get tickets and so forth?
Well, the easiest, fastest way to see everything is to go on our website, which is very simple, theatergrounddinnertheater.com. And on the website there are many tabs to drop down about who we are, how we got started, the history, pictures, along with a whole page of what the critics have said, and some of the actual reviews are posted. We have the menu listed, we have all the shows, the dates, how to make reservations. And then we do that by phone. You call the box office with a Visa, MasterCard, or Discover, and they'll handle it over the phone, and it's all set.
Well, I think the prices are very reasonable.
$55 for dinner, and that's an all-inclusive package that gives you the 3-course gourmet dinner and the show ticket, tax, and gratuity. So it's a real good bargain, and you know everyone's raving about the food down there. So
I know, the food is really excellent. Yeah. So we hear you talking about so much about the music and then the design piece that you do, the artistic piece. I'm going to be very excited about learning who you are, and so we're going to find out who is John Putzke in the next segment.
Join us for an adventure weekdays at 4:30 and 8:30 on Buzz TV Network.
Bay Street Pharmacy in Sebastian invites you to see our new selection of holiday cards and gifts. For more than 30 years, Bay Street Pharmacy has been your neighborhood pharmacy and one-stop healthcare center, offering prompt personal service, home delivery, and a dedicated staff that treats our customers like family with care and compassion. Now we have wonderful cards and gifts for the holiday season. Bay Street Pharmacy, where caring people care for you.
Arts in Depth is brought to you in part by Riverside Theater, Vero's professional theater at Riverside Park. Call the box office at 772-231-6990 or visit riversidetheater.com.
Here I am with John Putzke again, and this is going to be an interesting segment. He has a very interesting background that makes you so well suited as an artistic producer and director. Tell us about how you developed not only your love for theater, but all that goes into creating and producing a performance. Let's hear about who is John Putzke.
Who is John Putzke? Well, it goes way, way back to starting out actually as a child actor in Michigan, in Summerstock, and I got bit by the bug when I was 6 years old, and it was a situation where there was a professional summer stock theater, and it was a company from the Goodman Theater in Chicago. This took place on the lake right around the bay from Chicago, and it was run by faculty and students from the Goodman School of Drama, which was connected with the Art Institute at that time in the mid-50s. And I would go to classes, creative dramatics, but I also love my mother dearly, but she was always notoriously late for picking me up. And so I would be looking over the railing, watching rehearsals, you know, waiting for her to pick me up. And I got really bit by it, and I had some great opportunities to do Michael and Peter Pan and a couple of the child roles in the adult theater season. And it just took off from there. And then in high school, actually, I was a junior in high school, the summer between my sophomore and junior year, when, who is now my wife, Margaret, and I rented a boat barn on Lake Michigan, and opened our first summer theater.
Oh my gosh.
And we were just kids, but we did 6 shows a year every summer in there. The boats would come out, be put in the marina, and my dad would come in and build the stage. And so it was that true Mickey Rooney thing, let's put on a show, you know. And that just kept developing until a local restaurant took us in under their wing year-round as a dinner theater right after Margaret and I got married. So we did that for many, many years until in 1980 when we moved down here to do the Musicana dinner theater thing, and that just developed into where we are now 30 years later. So
what an interesting story. So
Yeah.
starting from 6 years old.
Yeah. And I've also had opportunities. I was the theater manager for the Drury Lane Dinner Theater in Chicago for 2 years, and directed the Bluegrass Dinner Theater in Kentucky, and Hurricane, West Virginia. Spent 2 seasons down there doing dinner theater. And so I've had the opportunity to be all over the Midwest and Southeast doing theater and all varieties. Spent 8 summers up in St. Augustine directing their Shakespeare Festival outdoors. All during that time, during the theater career of mine, I always thought one thing I never had to do was direct outdoor drama. But then I ended up doing Shakespeare for 8 summers up there. So yeah, it's a vast and wide career, and Margaret and I have done a lot of the shows on the cruise ship circuit down here since we've been in Florida as well. So yeah, it's been never 2 days alike, that's for sure.
And also you've done work at the Theater Guild?
Yes. I just last year did Gypsy, and I've done Oliver and Some Things Afoot and 13 Chairs. So when the schedule allows me to get in there, I try to do something for them too.
Well, that's terrific. You're headed to Melbourne now?
Yeah, I got an offer last week to do some work up at the Henninger Center up there, and that's kind of exciting too. So we're just trying to fit that into the schedule too sometimes. So.
Wow. That's terrific. What a great background. 6 years old. We'll be back after a short break.
Stop by Patty's Printing and Graphics in downtown Vero Beach. Owner Patty Callahan prints it all, from color and black and white copies to blueprints, banners, signs, prints of paintings, and fine art. Patty makes restorations and creates outstanding graphic designs. Call Patty at 770-1521 or stop by Patty's Printing and Graphics at 2345 14th Avenue. Stop by for all of your printing needs at Patty's Printing and Graphics, across from the old railroad station in downtown Vero Beach.
Theater Go Round is a wonderful story of making a vision a reality. What is the vision that you have for Theater Go Round in the next few years?
That question in itself, Barbara, is very challenging. The goal, I guess, would be the dream of anybody that is in my situation of doing theater, and that is someday to once again have our own space that's actually devoted 100% to being a dinner theater. And that's a real possibility here in Vero. You know, you just never know. And it's such a well-rounded community of not just theater performances, but you know, all of the arts in general. And when you have the symphonies and the ballets and you know, all of the galleries in town, and this whole community is so arts oriented, and I think that the Guild does a wonderful job. Our Riverside Theater is spectacular. I mean, how many small towns, we still like to call Vero a small town, you know, have a theater that produces shows that are, you know, Broadway equivalent, no doubt. And so I also think, you know, that the dinner theater situation is caught on, and like I said, that 18 months of having our own space over on 34th Avenue gave us a real taste of what it would be like to have our own space. And so I think maybe that might be the goal for the future. It would be fun to see if that could develop.
And what do you see as some of the challenges?
Oh, wow. I don't think I could probably ever run out of music. I do find myself faced with the challenge of coming up with themes. Sometimes I just, like a writer, I guess you get dry block and you say, okay, I've got 5 slots and I've got 4 of them filled for next year. What am I going to do there? But I think the biggest challenge is to keep it alive, keep it different, and yet don't lose who and what we are.
Is there anything else you would like to tell our viewers about Theater Go Round?
Well, just that we would hope that they'll come out and see us and partake in Chef Runge's wonderful 3-course dinner and find out who we are. We're proud to say that we've had approximately 2,084 was the last email blast that went out to our regular followers. So, we've built a good following to date, and every year more and more people are moving into Vero, and so I hope that the expansion is in our favor too, that they come and check us out.
You have to have a deep understanding and knowledge of music. Did you ever play an instrument, or were you in a choral group? Or?
Well, that's funny that you would ask that, but Barbara Yorish not too long ago did an article on the Putzkes in general being the first family of music in Vero Beach, because my wife, is very musical, has been my musical director in the past, and she's also the church organist at Holy Cross. Brandon, my son, is the big percussion teacher in Indian River County and has worked with the high school for so long, and he's out there now doing 7 schools in the district teaching percussion. And I am the one who knows nothing about music, who never played an instrument and certainly don't sing.
Oh, John. Thank you so much for being our guest. This is John Putzke, artistic producer and director of Theater Go Round. Thank you so much for talking with us today.
Thank you.
And thank you, viewers, for watching Arts in Depth, presented by the Cultural Council of Indian River County.
Arts in Depth is brought to you in part by Riverside Theater, Vero's professional theater at Riverside Park. Call the box office at 772-231-6990 or visit riversidetheater.com.
Bay Street Pharmacy in Sebastian invites you to see our new selection of holiday cards and gifts. For more than 30 years, Bay Street Pharmacy has been your neighborhood pharmacy and one-stop healthcare center, offering prompt personal service, home delivery, and a dedicated staff that treats our customers like family with care and compassion. Now we have wonderful cards and gifts for the holiday season. Bay Street Pharmacy, where caring people care for you.
Hi, I'm Carolyn.
And I'm Jim. Together we are the Live Now real estate team at RE/MAX Associated Realty.
We know the Sebastian area real estate market very well, and we also know that buying or selling a home can be very serious business.
But together we can reduce the stress and even have fun in the process. Along with our hundreds of satisfied clients, we really want you to live now and be happy too.
Contact us at thelivenowteam.com.
See you soon.
Get them out, hold them up. That's your sideline pass is good now, right here on Buzz TV, coming to you every Tuesday through Friday, where we'll have a coach's show with Coach Jankowski as we break down all that's happening with Vero Beach High School football.
And then we're also going to have the Sports Buzz show, where we're going to talk about local and national trending topics.
And maybe some of that his diet and how not to eat like him. Be like me, coming straight out of Indian territory. It's the Sideline Show, and you can find us right here on Buzz TV.